Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Lively with CCPL's Tech Team, here to talk today about Zoom. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if just a year ago, maybe you'd never even heard of Zoom. It gained in popularity during our times of quarantine, of working from home, of trying to find new ways to meet with friends and family when we couldn't get together in person. And now it's one of the most popular video conferencing sites that we have. So I'm going to show you today how to schedule a meeting, but also how to participate in one too. It's very simple to use, and there are some great free options with it as well, but it could be a little intimidating if it's new to you. So join in and take a look as we explore a little bit about Zoom in the next few minutes. Okay, so here we are on a Windows 10 laptop. Now you can access Zoom though from just about any device. So whether you have a smartphone or a tablet or even a Chromebook, either through the browser or through an app that you download, you can access Zoom. So I'm going to start by going through my browser of choice, which is Google Chrome. Pull that up. And here in the address bar, I'm simply going to type zoom.com. Their website loads, and you can see toward the top right that you could get started right away with joining a meeting, hosting a meeting, or of course, you may need to go ahead and sign in or sign up. If you're signing up for the first time, just know that it will ask you to confirm your birth date, and it's going to ask you to either create a Zoom account with a work email address, so don't be surprised by that. You can use any email address there, and you'll create a password, or you can actually sign up or sign in with an existing account like Google or Facebook. You'll see those listed here. So I'm on the sign in page, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Google account. It doesn't really tie the two together. It just makes it a little easier to sign in and have access there to Zoom from your browser. So I'm going to put in my Gmail address, and then it'll ask for the password. All right, and now I'm signed in, and I'm getting some information here about my account. Nothing going on with my account right now, but it is important to understand what kinds of accounts are available to you. So if you look up here at the top, there's plans and pricing. And I'm going to click there to show you that there are free accounts available, and that's what I'm working under here. You can have a personal meeting plan that is free, and you can host up to 100 participants in one video conference call, 100 participants. The drawback is, though, that you're limited to a 40-minute call. Of course, you could have back-to-back calls if you needed to start over, but that might be inconvenient. And so just know that there are some limits to that free plan. You can come here to take a look at how you could pay yearly, and there are some monthly options too, to increase the amount of time that you can have a call there. So this is a place to come to make those decisions to see what's available to you right up here with plans and pricing. So once you're comfortable with your plan, then you can move right ahead and schedule a meeting. I'm going to click on schedule a meeting right there. So that page loads, and it lets you choose a topic for your meeting. You could leave it there as my meeting. But to make sure that the participants know what it's about, it's best to probably give it a topic. So I'm going to say this is for party planning. Then I'm going to move on into the description. It's optional, but that might help your participants as well. And I'm going to say that Jennifer and Katie meeting to plan shower for Emily. So the date is already filled in. That's today's date, but I could certainly click on the little calendar and choose a future date. And then I can come over to the time and choose a time as well. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to choose 11:30, and it'll be a.m. So I'm going to leave that as a 1-hour meeting, but it is reminding me here that I have a 40-minute cap if there are 3 or more participants. So if it happened to just be me and Katie meeting, it's no problem. One-on-one, there is an unlimited amount of time that you can meet. But if it is 3 or more participants, that 40-minute cap will be in place. So it's just reminding me of that. So we'll go on down, and it's a good thing I'm double checking the time zone because that's not correct. So I'm going to find the correct one. There we go. I could choose that this is a recurring meeting. So if you have a meeting that's every week, every other week, you could choose when that's going to happen and if there's an end date there. The meeting ID is something that can be used to find this meeting later if needed. So that's just generated automatically. You'll see some of how that's used in a little bit. Now, double checking all of these settings is important. You'll see here that there is a waiting room involved. So that means that if people wanted to join the meeting, they will have to be let in by the host. So that's a very active process where as the meeting is starting, the host will have to be there ready to accept those users who are trying to come in. That's just one way to keep out people that you may not recognize, just in case someone got a hold of the invitation and it wasn't intended for them. So we can have a little more control over things when the waiting room is involved there. All right, so as the meeting starts, the host's video is going to be turned off until that person turns it on, and the participant's video, same thing, will be off until they turn that on. And so you'll see how to control that in a little bit. All right, so we could check some boxes here, allow participants to join anytime. This is a big one, mute participants upon entry. Sometimes that is a good box to check because it can be a little tricky for people to realize that they are live in the meeting, not really knowing when that's starting maybe, and so you can hear them talking maybe when they're not quite ready to be heard. So you can mute those participants upon entry and then allow them to control that as the meeting progresses. There's some options to automatically record the meeting if you're on a local computer, and then there are some things for blocking users as well if that becomes an issue. So as soon as I save this upcoming meeting, it shows the meeting is presented here as something that's kind of coming up for me with this account. And the easiest way to get that out there to the people that you would like to invite is simply to copy the invitation and send those people an email. So what we'll do is come over here, I had to scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see copy invitation. So as soon as I click there, it gives me the information I need, and here at the bottom again, I'll click on copy meeting invitation. So that is on my clipboard and ready for me to continue. So I'm actually going to open a new tab here and come into Gmail to compose a new message. So this one is going to be to Katie. And then I can add other recipients. And I could continue adding as many recipients as needed. I'm going to call it Zoom planning meeting. And then when I get to the body of the message, that's where I want to paste that invitation. So if I simply use my keyboard shortcut, Control V, or I could right click and copy, you'll see that same invitation here. Now, the important part really is this join Zoom meeting. They're going to need to be able to access this link to join. Sometimes if you click after it and press enter, it'll make it look like an active link, but either way, that should be where they are going to get in there. Now, they shouldn't need the meeting ID or the passcode unless they are not just simply going to click on the link to join the meeting. So you'll see that from the recipient's end in just a second, but this meeting ID and passcode is important to have there if they're trying to join through Zoom directly instead of having a link to click on. Just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and send that invitation. And then the meeting is supposed to start at 11:30. It's now 11:18, and I'm actually going to start that meeting a little early so we can continue. So I sent that message to my work account, and you'll see here that I did get a message that says Jennifer Lively is inviting you to a Zoom meeting. So to get started as a participant, I would simply click here. But I'll be waiting until the host actually starts the meeting. So as the host, if you have the invitation as the host in an email, you can start it that way, or here in Zoom, you can start the meeting that way too. So I'm going to choose Start This Meeting. And it's got some questions here to ask. It wants to know if I want to open Zoom meetings. Now that's because it recognizes that Zoom as an app is already on this computer. And so I can simply open it. But if you don't have that option, you'll have the option down here to download now. And if you need to, there is an option to do it in the browser. So you have a couple of different ways to go about that. Again, there are Zoom apps for your smartphones and tablets. Shouldn't be much of an issue to go through that process and have the app available to you, because you'll see how easy it is once you choose Open Zoom Meetings. And it's going to ask if I want to join with computer audio. I can say yes, that's how they're going to be able to hear me. I'm going to make this window bigger for now. You can see it's all about it. No one else is here yet, and I haven't started my video yet, but I'm not muted, so others would be able to hear me if they were already on. Okay, so again, that was the host starting the meeting. If I were back in my email, and I simply click on that link, same thing would come up. You'd be able to open Zoom meetings and get right in. Okay, so back at Zoom, back here, I'm going to start the video. And then, of course, there's some adjusting that usually has to happen. You can see me right there. And it's all about pointing here toward the bottom, and you can see your toolbar. And so notice there is a way to mute, and then nobody else would be able to hear me. And I can also stop the video if I needed to walk away for a little bit and then come back. Now, just at the right time, you'll see that Katie has entered the waiting room. So I am acting as the host right now, but that's pretty, a lot of people would be able to see that. It's not restricted. And so I have the option to admit Katie. And as soon as I do that, the screen is going to change a little bit. She is going to connect to audio, and in just a second, hopefully we'll see her face. I hear her.
I don't know why my face isn't showing.
Oh, she's got a new laptop that she's working with. There she is. So that's just some of the little technical problems that can happen sometimes with Zoom too. So she had it all planned out to be able to show you that. So I'm going to just keep talking through the video, Katie, if you'll stay there for just a second. And notice here at the bottom, there is a participants. That's a big one too. So when you click on participants, over on the right, and imagine if you had a meeting with lots and lots of people. Remember, even with a free account, it could be up to 100 people. You can see exactly who's there. Now, the big thing to know as the host is how you can get there and mute those people. And so if someone's talking out of turn or it becomes a little distracting, I could go in and mute Katie. I have the access to do that. And I could even turn off her camera, I believe, if I needed to. So you have some more options there. So know about those participants. And then also know that there is a way to chat sort of behind the scenes, if you will. If you click on chat, it's going to open just a little kind of part of the bar down here on the right. And if I were to, you ready, Katie? If I were to type a little, hello, thanks for meeting today. Obviously, she's going to hear me saying that. But if we needed to keep a little bit of a conversation going for the sake of record keeping or just having the little notes there as we're meeting, chat is available. Now, again, remember, if you have 100 people on a meeting, there could be a lot of chat to kind of, there we go. There could be a lot of chat to kind of keep up with, and it can be a lot to keep the live conversation going and to check in on the chat, but that's just part of it and a great feature that Zoom offers. So we have that available to us as well. Remember, that bar at the bottom is going to hide anytime, so you just have to keep moving your mouse down there. If you're on a smartphone or a tablet, it's a touchscreen device, it's going to work a little differently, but you'll have these options available to you. So the other thing I want to mention is the option to record the meeting. So notice down here, there is that option. as a courtesy. Generally, you want everyone to know that's involved in the meeting that they are being recorded. But then Zoom will provide that final recording to you, and you can share that with any members of a meeting or something that weren't able to be there. So that's a great feature as well. So Katie and I could have our party planning meeting for Emily's shower. That already happened a while back, but that was our example for today. And of course, we could have lots more people involved in our Zoom conversation. And when it's all over, I can simply end that meeting. Now, Katie's side probably says leave. Can you confirm that? So she can leave the meeting at any time in case she couldn't make it for the whole thing, whatever the case is. But for me as the host, I could simply end the meeting. And Katie, the time has come. So I'm ending the meeting. Thank you for your service here. And we're going to end.
I'll see you later.
For all. That's right. She'll be up next. So there you go. So the meeting is over, and it's just returned me here to our Zoom page, our screen there, and we can move on with the next meeting, whatever's to come. So I know that was a little of back and forth and cameras within cameras, so I hope that wasn't too confusing. But Zoom is wonderful and powerful and a great way to host a meeting. So I hope you saw both perspectives there, how to host the meeting, how to set that up, and especially how to copy that invitation into an email, and then also how to participate in a meeting and the things that you'd want to see, especially how to manage your camera, your video camera being on, and as well as your audio, so muting yourself when you need to do that. So keep those things in mind. Grab a couple of friends to practice Zooming with and give it a go and see what you think. As always, you can contact the tech team for more help with Zoom or any of your other technology needs. Just give us a call at 843-805-6885 or drop us an email at techteam@ccpl.org. We hope to hear from you soon.